Hey, what is going on, guys? Today I'm sharing with you 5 brand new Assetto Corsa track mods that you need to check out. We have some super cool tracks on today's list, from some fictional stuff to some historic racetracks, as well as current modern day Formula 1 tracks. Before we get into it though, I'd like to give a quick shout out to my second channel, JC Racing. If you want to see some broader sim racing content besides just Assetto Corsa mods, that will be your one-stop shop for it down in the top link in the description below. But without further ado, let's get right on to the first track mod on today's list, and that is Newcastle Motorsports Park. This is a USA-based karting track, slash maybe you could get away with drifting because it is wide enough in some parts. But anyway, this is a very, very high quality karting track, we'll call it that, here in Assetto Corsa. 2.2 kilometers long. It has 10 pits as well, so you can get some small karting grids going if you would like. And this was modeled with photogrammetry data as well, which is very cool. It gives you a very realistic looking, especially terrain detail and road feel and everything like that. So very, very nice. The only downside with that is that the, kind of far away details of the landscape have not been modeled, so you're kind of racing in a void if you look out into the distance really far. But regardless, still a very fun track, very nice layout as well, whether you're doing karting or maybe you're doing a little bit of drifting. It is a very fun and nice layout. You can find it down in the link in the description below. Next up on today's list is Barcelona from 1994. This has been converted over to AC by Shin. It is 4.7 kilometers long, and this is a very weird Barcelona layout where some genius thought it would be a great idea to make a temporary tire chicane in the second sector of the track when you're kind of going into the little triangle part that sticks up out of it, if you will. But besides that, the layout hasn't changed too much, especially when you look at it compared to the layout we have today. Very, very similar, but of course the trackside details and everything like that is quite different. So a very nice, high quality 1994 iteration here in Assetto Corsa. I know there are some 90s F1 cars out there. I don't have any installed at the moment, so we're making do with the 86 F1 car by RSS. But if you do have some of those and you're very fond of this era of F1, as I know a lot of people are, then this is going to definitely be a track that you're going to want to check out. You can find it down in the link in the description below. Next up on the list is the Mexico Gran Premio 1967, or basically Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in 1967. Another track that has a very similar looking layout to today. It's definitely different, definitely has some different corners and places, but overall is still the broad strokes relatively similar. This track was originally made by Silence 01, and with permission, MTK has completely revamped it with new AI, new VAO patch, new texturing, lights around the track, VAO patch, rain effects, road mesh tweaks. The list goes on his race department page. So if you're into historic racing from back in the 60s or 70s or 50s, whatever it may be, then this is definitely going to be a track you're going to want to try out. And it also has a couple different layouts as well, the oval layout as well as a short layout, which kind of bypasses that very top part of the track. And it also does have a Le Mans start layout where you are kind of parked up on the side of the road. So if you want to do some sports car racing around here, you can also do that as well. You can find this one down in the link in the description below. Next up on the list is Sochi Autodrom. This is made by SMP Esports over on Race Department, and it has been updated once again with a quite big update. Most notably, pretty much a complete texture rework has been done, and overall Sochi Autodrom, this version of it, is a very, very high quality track here in Assetto Corsa. So when it does get a big update like this, I do like to cover it. Of course, this was the home of the Russian GP before the war in Ukraine started. It's 5.8 kilometers long. It has 32 pits, so if you do want to do some kind of like WEC endurance racing around here, you can do that as well, although right now pretty much no international motorsports is going on there. So depends on what you're wanting to do with this thing, but regardless, a very, very high quality track mod, and it is an F1 track, a former F1 track, and one that we didn't really have a good layout of before SMP Esports came along. So if you don't have this one already, I highly recommend you add it to your collection. You can find it down in the link in the description below. And the final track mod on today's list is AFR1. This is, of course, an RF Factor 1 conversion. It's been brought over by RMI, and this is one of the default R Factor 1 tracks. If you played that game, this is definitely familiar. It's a very interesting layout. It's both narrow in some parts and also pretty wide in other parts as well, so it does really give you some unique forms of racing. It's got some banking in some corners as well, and overall, especially being an R Factor 1 conversion, RMI has done a fantastic job because this track does not look like an R Factor 1 track here in Assetto Corsa. That is for definite sure. It's 2.5 kilometers long. It has 36 pits, so pretty much any kind of racing you'd like to do around here, you will be able to do. And it's also a figure 8, not one where the cars crash into each other, but kind of like a Suzuka-esque figure 8, which is always cool to see. So yeah, be sure to check this one out, especially if you have some nostalgia for the original R Factor. You can find it down in the link in the description below. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. If you did enjoy this video, a like and a sub would mean a lot. Once again, be sure to check out my second channel, JC Racing. It'll be the top link in the description below. And yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Have a good one, guys.